Good morning and welcome back to Southern Bella Home. I'm outside next to the little Southern Potager garden that we have here on the homestead, and I'm about to take my morning walk and see what's blooming, what's ready to be picked, and what's coming soon. And I thought I would take you along with me because I've had a few of you contact asking for a spring garden tour. So I guess this is it. Here's our spring garden tour. I hope you enjoy. Every morning as I come walking up to the garden, the first thing that just delights my heart and just draws me out here is the perennial bed that I have growing in front of the potager garden. And I put this long band of perennial flowers kind of as a pollinator garden to draw all of those wonderful pollinators into our garden space. So let me show you what it looks like this morning. This is my view as I come walking up to our little enclosed potager. Right off the bat, I have a few chive blossoms that I see and our Shasta daisies, which I will be snipping a few of those to take inside for us to enjoy. And just beyond, you see a glimpse of my calendulas, and I have beautiful native daylilies. You'll see these all across the south. This orange colored daylily is extremely popular and common here. They're so beautiful, and the pollinators do love them. And then I have a tiny little pepper plant that I'm grooming. That is actually a pimento pepper that my sweet sister-in-law gave to me, and I am hoping to have some pimento peppers to can because we love some pimento cheese here in the south. Down here I have dianthus. I have a big sunflower coming up, and there's lavender, and you see my little pollinator buddy right there. You see him working that little lavender blossom. And I have marigolds and yarrow. I just have quite a variety of anything that's flowering. This is more yarrow, and mixed in with the yarrow are irises that have already bloomed and spent. Now let me show you something wonderful as you come up the fence. Look at that. Look at that beautiful vine. I'll tell you more about that in a little bit. And this is a sweet little two-seater. It used to have a seat right there on the red bar, but it was a two-seater tricycle that my boys rode as little boys. And I'm very sentimental about it. They actually won a prize in the cherry blossom parade. We had it all decorated like a choo-choo train, and they had on their little conductor hats. It was so cute, and they won a trophy. So that's a sweet memory for me as I walk out to the garden. And then I love my blue and white, and this bowl was actually broken, and I glued it back together, put some gravel in the bottom, and sat my pot in it so that I could still enjoy my blue and white bowl. Even though it's seen better days, it's still pretty, I think. More yarrow, some lilies and geraniums, and some little carnation, dianthus, and more Shasta daisies and orange daylilies. And I'll pan across and let you see the garden from the outside. Everything's lush and pretty. Listen to those birds. All right, let's go inside. As I opened the little screen door, and I wanted this old vintage screen door because how many of us grew up with a screen door like that? As I opened this door, right here is a blueberry bush that I have saved because it was about to die, and I have a poke root that I will be tincturing. So that is what that is there. And right next door over here is the strawberry patch. And just beyond the strawberry patch is our blueberry pavilion. So Todd takes care of the blueberries and I take care of the strawberries. And as we first come in, we have these beautiful calendulas. And those I'm growing so that I can make salves and lotions and tinctures because calendula is wonderful for the skin. In this box, I just harvested quite a bit of elephant garlic, but now I have peppers growing in here. And there is a brandywine tomato, which is my favorite type of tomato. I absolutely love brandywine. And I just harvested some really nice bell peppers in here. So I have bell peppers growing right there and some beautiful zinnias that are coming. I love that coral color zinnia. And then I also have some vinca down here just as another little pollinator plant. I just love seeing the layers of flower. The Shasta daisies beyond and the calendulas in front. And just behind this, I have the actually kind of waning of the lettuces. We have so enjoyed our lettuce and our spinach this year. And it's getting a little warm, so it's starting to die out, and I'll be pulling that up soon. But see what's happening here? You see that? We're going to seed, and that is what I want. I want to save those seeds. Right behind, we have some cabbages, and these cabbages I did not cover. We have a problem with moths laying eggs in the cabbage, and then you have worms down in there, and it's really gross. Not what you want to eat. So I tried those three over there. They were just actually extra plants that I had, and so I thought I would see how they do. And so far they're looking okay. Here is the romaine lettuce, and I see that this one's also going to seed. I'm learning my new camera, so please forgive the blurriness. My phone got dropped, and we had to get a new phone, and this camera is awesome, but it takes some getting used to. So this box is all cabbages and lettuces, and it will soon be evacuated for more summer planting. And then look at this. Look at this. Can you believe this squash? Look at these beautiful fruit. Look down in there. How about that? Look over here. This is called a cushaw. And I first heard about it on YouTube from Celebrating Appalachia YouTube channel. And then I started doing some research about cushaw, and it's supposed to be more resistant to squash bugs here in the South. And it is a winter type squash, so you can can it just like pumpkin. You can make pumpkin pies and all of those things. But it'll also stay good just on the shelf for several months. So I'm really excited because I would love to can some of that for some pumpkin pies. And this will give you a good perspective of what the garden looks like from near the far corner. This is a bee balm plant that I am trying to get up to size so that I can plant it out in the yard. Another little pimento pepper that I'm grooming and trying to get it up to a healthy size, and then I'm going to put it out in the garden, probably in that box where the greens just came up. Back here I have some vining green beans. These are, I believe those are Kentucky Wonder, and they'll go up that fence like they already are. And then we have hollyhocks and more green beans. And just beyond that you see asparagus that we've already harvested and is going to seed. And over here we have some mature leeks that were from last year. They've already bolted and putting on their seed head. And we have more Kentucky Wonder beans going up the fence here. I'm excited about that. And this is just a bag, a bucket where I'm saving my paper feed sacks and things because I use that as weed barrier. That is why that is there. And here in these two, actually they are like animal watering troughs that someone was throwing away. They were out beside the road being tossed. We rescued them, and I love growing my herbs in here. So in this one, it's full of cilantro, and I have a pepper plant that's coming up. It's just now starting to get warm enough for the peppers to love the weather. They really like warm weather. And there's another little vinca that will grow up and be beautiful. And back here in this one, I also have a pepper in the center, but I have some beautiful dill for all of our pickles that we will be making from all the things that will be pickled and canned. And right behind that, I have an antique iron bed. Unfortunately, we have a volunteer oak tree coming up behind there. There is Mexican petunias that grow in there. But that little oak tree's got to go, and he has a stubborn root, so we've got to, I don't know how we're going to get that out, but we're going to get it. And in front of that is my mullein plant, where I make mullein tinctures for cough remedy. And then I'll pan across again, and down this fence line, in all of these self-wicking tubs, I have a variety of squashes. Now that is another pepper plant right there that's growing. But I have, that first one is zucchini, and most of those are yellow squash. And then down the way are several pumpkins and other squashes. I have some spaghetti squash growing. I'll show you those in a moment. But in this first long box here, I have zipper peas, which are one of my favorites. So I have a lot of zipper peas growing there. And at the front of this box, this is kind of a crazy volunteer section of this box because I have cucamelon vines and also Malabar spinach. And they just come back year after year. I don't have to plant them. They reseed themselves. And I try to keep them contained in the first part of this box because they will literally take over if I don't. A beautiful Redmond super cactus zinnia. This zinnia will be so gorgeous. It will have so many layers to it. And I like to grow these at the front of these boxes because they get so big and tall that you can see them when you drive in the driveway, and it's really pretty. And I've got my little picking basket here. More peas going down this way. And I'm excited about this right here. This is the first time I've ever grown a dahlia. I ordered a dahlia root, and it is coming up beautifully, and I cannot wait to see it mature. And over here, I have green beans. These, I think, are momentum green beans, and they have done fabulous. I've had several pickings, and they just keep coming back. But what I'm going to do probably today is go ahead and start my next round of green bean seeds. I will start several flats of green beans so that when these are spent, I have another round ready to go so that I can a year's worth of green beans this year. That is my goal. And growing along beside the green beans, I have squashes, several different types of squashes, and they're putting on their blooms. You can see the little yellow blooms down in there, and blooms over there. And then on the other side of the squashes, over this trellis, I had planted our snap peas, our sugar snap peas, and they have been extremely slow this year in coming, but I did see one. I thought I saw one somewhere this morning. I thought I saw, yes, right there. I think that's the first one that I've seen, first little pea on the vines. But I don't know if the weather just has not been to their liking, but they've sure not wanted to put on many peas for us this year. There's another one of my little pollinator friends. He's doing his work. And this is a spaghetti squash. You see this putting on fruit there. There's several in there. That's also a spaghetti squash. You can see it right there. All the squashes are full of blooms. And then these going up this side of the trellis are my cucumbers. And what I typically do is try to train the cucumber vines to go up this trellis because it just makes it easier for me to see the cucumber. We've all of us gardeners have had it happen where we come out one day and there's a massive cucumber or a massive zucchini. I see one peeking out down there. You see it? And so the cucumbers look like they're coming along. Now, this right here, I think that this is a volunteer of a certain gourd that I planted a couple of years ago. And I think it is still volunteering. And I'm probably going to get that out of there because it goes absolutely crazy. And it will take over this whole entire place. And here's some cucumbers that are getting to the point where I can trail them up the trellis. Have a little tomato planted here that will come out. I believe that may be a Berry's Crazy Cherry, which is my husband's favorite cherry. And under here, I have more cabbage. And I've put the cover over it to protect it from the cabbage moths. And I'll see if I can uncover that and show you the beautiful cabbage that are growing down in there. Several down in there. Can't wait to make some homemade sauerkraut, some homemade slaw. But I'll cover those up when I get through filming. I'll cover that back up securely so that no little cabbage moths can get in there and lay their eggs. Right next to that, I have some beautiful eggplant. Is that not just the most gorgeous color? And I see a little baby. See the little baby eggplants? There's that massive gourd. And there is my spent spinach. We have had awesome spinach this year, but I think it's about spent, so I need to pull all of that out. I've also had a lot of trouble this year with slugs. Has anyone else had trouble with slugs this year? They've been really bad. Back here is a certain type of radish that I've tried to grow year after year. I think it's called like Munchizer. It's a long white radish, and I sliced those up and put them in a pickle brine and put them in the refrigerator, and I just love to snack on those. So good. But that whole area right there will come out very soon and be replanted with something else. Over here I have, let's see, I think that is a watermelon plant there. and another pepper there. And I have sweet potatoes planted all down in here. I have our sweet potatoes planted. A watermelon plant there, and squash in the middle. And then this is my main outdoor tomato bed. I have kind of a woolly-bully mixture, but look at this. Look at all the tomatoes already on this plant. Look at all those nice tomatoes. And more over here. And my little basil down there in the middle of them. I try to get as much planted in the areas that I can. There's more tomatoes down in there. I don't know if you can see that. Little baby tomatoes everywhere. And I see something peeking up at me over here. Some little pumpkins. Oh, look at that little pumpkin down there. I think those are my Jack Littles. And then this is some other, I think this could be a lemon squash. I'm not sure. It's looking good. And then right here, we made this little narrow box for our okra. And our okra will get really tall and stand against this fence. And it seems to be a great place to grow okra every year. We plant something else during the fall, just so that we have a good crop rotation. So that's our okra bed. And then we're back at the strawberries. And I'll give you another glance. Oh, and I didn't tell you what this is right here. So I have a big comfrey plant growing on our courtyard, and every time we empty a milk jug, I save it and I stuff comfrey leaves and banana peels down in there. And I also have 2 buckets full of it. And I make homemade fertilizer with the comfrey and the banana peels, and I use organic bananas. So I'll show you a little bit of what I've picked this morning. So in my little picking basket right now, I have some of our collards. That'll be enough to cook a little collards with bacon for our lunch today. So let me see if I can get this out without spilling everything. So we have some collards. I'll just sit those right here. We have a couple of yellow squash, about 3 or 4 of our yellow squash, and a good mess of green beans. I picked some of our dill because I thought some nice fresh ranch dressing would be great on a salad, and I have some of our lettuce in the refrigerator. And then this is the white radish that I was telling you about. And we love the radish greens cooked just like a turnip green or a collard green. They're really good. You just chop them up real fine and cook them just like you would your collards or your turnips. So that's the pickings from the potager today, other than some calendula and some Shasta daisies. So the true nature of a potager garden, potager means in the pot, and basically it means fill your pot with what's in the garden. And so today is a true picking that's representative. So I have enough to cook, enough to can, and enough to bring beauty to the home, and herbs for seasonings. Now let's take a walk over to the tunnel where we grow most of our tomatoes and our cucumbers. You're not going to believe what that place looks like. And here is the jungle in the tunnel. We have got, oh, I see some, this looks like stink bug damage, and that's new, so they must be hitting us overnight. There's another blueberry bush that I have rescued, but check out the size of these cucumber plants. Tomato plants. I showed you all a video of when I cleaned out this tunnel, and had all those little baby plants in here. Oh yeah, I'm getting some definite damage from, looks like, some stink bugs, because they will land on top of the leaves and suck the sap out. That looks like what's happening. But I want to show you, see, I've got little baby tomatoes everywhere, little blooms, cucumber blooms everywhere, and if I look closely, I probably have some cucumbers to pick. I've already picked a couple of, I think they're the American pickling cucumbers. Let's see if there's any in here. Well, I don't see any right now, but I'll look again. But they're starting to grow up, the tomato cages, so I've really got to handle this. But you can also see down there the towers that came from Aldi. They are kind of a cheap version of the other brand. I can't think of it right now, but anyway, looks like my herbs and my cucumbers and my ginger and all of those things are growing really well. Right here is mint, and I have a really big, like a gourd or pumpkin down there at the end. And right over here, oh wow, I have some big tomatoes right there. Some big boys. And right here, I'm very excited about this plant here. That is my goji berry. And I thought that I had lost it over the winter, but it made it. And I've been fertilizing it and taking good care of it. You know, goji berry is one of the superfoods. So good for you. So this is the tunnel. It's looking good. Kind of crazy. I got to get it handled. Got to get those cucumbers something to grow up on. It's really amazing how quickly food takes off in this tunnel. This humid environment, it really loves it. And this tunnel was not very expensive or difficult to make. So if you want the opportunity to grow food kind of year round, I highly recommend one of these tunnels. It's just cattle panels with the plastic over it, and we did put a shade fabric over ours because we are in the hot south to protect our plants a little bit, and they really seem to like it. This is the little area just outside of the tunnel. There's the tunnel there. And this is a little perennial garden that I'm slowly growing. I have golden ball mums there and some lavender, daylilies, and I believe, I can't remember the name of that plant, but it's a white perennial that comes up. And some more vincas. And over there I have roses. And there's the rose arbor that is completely in need of some work. I've been working on it. You can see my tools over there. I've been working on the weeds and trying to clean things up a bit. But I have daylilies in this area, and we just did the little rock border over it, cleaning that area up. And then I'll pan across and you can see the potager. This garden bed is the newest addition. These poles came from the property here when we had our tornado, and the power poles actually were taken down by the storm. And so we repurposed those as a bed, and I've grown tomatoes in here and watermelons and all sorts of things. But this year I've replanted this entire long bed in asparagus, 2 rows of asparagus. Along the front side I have zinnias, and along the back side I believe I have more calendula starts planted. And there's a volunteer squash right there in the middle. I'm not really sure what that is. But anyway, it'll be interesting to see this grow, and have some cosmos right down there that are growing. So we should be able to watch this together. I just got this planted on Friday. So we'll see how this goes. Sure gave me a backache. Here is the potager. There's the rose arbor that I'm working on currently. And this is what it looks like in the bright sunshine in the mornings. Well, that's it for our late spring, early summer garden. I really hope you enjoyed seeing what I'm growing, and I hope to show more videos of how things are progressing and what I'm able to harvest. And I like to promote the idea of a potager garden because I believe it gives you a lot of bang for your buck. You're able just to harvest food and herbs and flowers for your home, and like I said, I really get enough to can a lot of food, put up a lot of food. It's just amazing what you can grow in a small space. So I hope you'll give it a try if you've got a small yard and you're wanting to garden and you think, well, I don't have a big tractor, I can't plow or any of those things. You know, if you can grow in buckets or pots or any kind of container, you can grow some of your own food and some of your own flowers and herbs. I'm living proof that you can do it. All right, friends, I hope that you all have a wonderful Memorial Day. I hope that you have a wonderful week. And remember to keep home sweet. And may the good Lord bless and keep you until the next time I see you. Bye, y'all.